Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? We're getting into another episode of Married at First Sight Australia series 12, and we are now on episode 12, and we're getting to the dinner party where everything comes afoot. Everything starts playing out. Right, but before we get into this video, as I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know when I'm getting doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1k. So we do see that Tony came back to the flat basically, and we know that the atmosphere is tense between him and Marina. Tony's trying to literally get her out of her shell to try and laugh and joke with him, but Marina has no chill. Marina is not giving in to him basically. So Tony's trying to talk about the fact that they're actually matching, because he's in a pink shirt and she's in a pink dress. Marina just looks at him and stares and says and ignores him. Doesn't say a word to him, and it's this is what Tony does not like. He's really trying to make amends with her. So I don't understand how she expects someone to live in that kind of environment day in, day out. If you are upset, then have the gumption to literally do what's being asked and just sit down and just have a, slow conversation about what's happening, what's hurting you, what's the dealio, all of that stuff. But she's not in that frame of mind at the moment. So basically what we know is Tony decided to take a night out, and Marina is literally on the warpath in regards to Tony taking this night out. So Tony's there in the car as they're driving, saying, who do you think will take centre stage at the dinner party? So he's trying to have that gossipy conversation with her. She turns around and she says, well, I think it will be me and you. Tony starts laughing. And I'm like, she's not joking, mate. Marina is not joking. She is going to make this night about them two. She is going to draw Tony out, basically, to make him look like the bad guy. Okay, that's top of the agenda for Marina at the end of the day. She is going to make sure that she can put Tony in his place. So as she's talking to the producers, Marina is saying that she's feeling undervalued, and then the clip shoots to her and Tony sitting at the table waiting to go out. She's basically asking him, like, why did he have to take off? And she's sitting there firing question after question at him. And each time Tony goes to gear himself up to answer the bloody question that she's firing, she's literally firing another one straight at him. So she's basically answering the questions that she's firing at Tony, and Tony has no space in which to say anything. And this is exactly what he's talking about. And this is why I'm saying Marina does not see how her behaviour impacts on him, especially when she gets more heightened, especially when she gets frustrated and all the emotions start spilling out basically. And this is why I said it's because she's had her voice shut down for 29 years. She's now found her voice. She's now saying she's done all this work, and she is never going to lose her voice again, and that's why she's the way that she is. But what she's not stopping to realise is that she's doing the exact same thing to Tony as her ex probably did to her, in terms of making Tony lose his voice completely. Tony can't speak, like honestly can't speak. She consistently shuts this poor man down every time he tries to take space to try and talk or connect with Marina in some way, because then it all essentially comes about Marina and how she's feeling. So you see Marina making it about herself and basically thinking that, Tony, what's not to love about me, and it's got nothing to do with that in terms of how Tony's behaving in the way that he's behaving. But because their communication styles are so freaking different and all over the place, they can't meet in the middle. She can't understand where he's coming from, and Tony can't get to a point of trying to get her to understand where he's coming from basically. So Tony has his wall up already, you can see, because Tony doesn't know what to do in those situations. Tony is absolutely clueless. And I just kind of thought, well, maybe if Morena just steps back and has that self-realization, yeah, Tony can get a word with edgewise to say things that he needs to say to her. She just hits him like verbally, like she's wielding a blunt object, and to be quite frank, watching it is actually quite tiring. So then we have Sierra, and she's kind of concerned that her and Billy are now in the friend zone city, basically. And basically she's saying she wants a partner to give her physical touches. She wants that physical affection. And I kind of think that when it comes to Billy and Sierra, they both say a lot to the producers, yeah. But they don't really say enough to each other. They become proper jokesters with each other instead. And instead of conversing like a couple should do, especially when they're running into rocky road right now, because both of them, as I said in my previous episode, are on two different levels, and they're not meeting in the middle because neither one know what's going on with the other at the end of the day. So of course Afuina is there talking about her chemistry with Adrian, which we already know. She basically has a concern that they may not be compatible on the outside of the relationship. She says that Adrian is very selfish within the relationship, and she's basically doing the lion's share and not getting a lot of reciprocation from Adrian. And I'm just like, I don't understand why she is contemplating this type of thing, because Adrian, as I keep saying, keeps showing Afuina who he is time and time again, keeps showing her that he don't really care about her. He don't really care about this experiment. I think for him, it's just about exposure at the end of the day, because the things that he doesn't help Afuina in any way, shape or form. The things that he does not show Afuina that he's into her or with her 100%, or wants to create a semblance of a team with her. So that's why she's questioning whether they're going to be compatible on the outside. And I could categorically say, no, you're not going to be compatible on the outside, because Adrian is a motherfucking waste of space. At the end of the day, like an absolute waste of space. This boy is in there for fun. He doesn't really want Afuina, but he'll keep Afuina because he likes the sex with Afuina. That's what it is. He likes the sex with her. He doesn't want all the encumbrances of everything else that Afuina brings as a mom. And every time he tries to say that, yes, he sees her point of view, yes, he believes that he wants this relationship with Afuina, I think he's lying to himself time and time again. I really do. So basically you see that all the lads are keen to jump on Ryan in terms of his comments about Jackie in the workshop. And I was like, and for one, I can't wait, because I love that for him. Because I'm like, don't go around insulting your wife, yeah, and then sexualizing her to the lads intent on point scoring. That don't make no sense to me. So Jackie and Ryan have decided to push the reset button on their relationship. And I said, this is what I mean with these two. Yeah, they're all over the place, consistently all over the place. And then once it comes to the group settings, they want to try and force this positive team face, this positive narrative that they like each other. So basically what they're doing is they're sitting there making excuses for each other in terms of why they're hitting the reset button, and trying to say to each other, like, this is where we're at now, we're going to have each other's back, we know that this is going to come at us, this is how we're going to deal with it. So basically they're preempting what might come at them at the dinner party and how they're going to deal with it. So they're basically preparing themselves in terms of going into battle together, basically. And this is why I say that when it comes to them two, it's all about appearances. It's not about the relationship per se. It's all about how they can get their narrative right to show a united front to everybody else, when everybody else can see that their freaking relationship is shit. Like, absolutely shit. So the dinner party is always the best time to get messy, and we know that this dinner party, Ryan and Tony are going to catch strays at the end of the day. So I just thought that they will never ever be prepared for what's going to be coming their way. So the strongest couples, I think, so far from watching Married at First Sight Australia and getting to this episode is Jamie and Dave, Karina and Paul, and Rhea and Jeff. Those are the strongest couples in my eyes at the moment. So I see that Rhea is really into Jeff, and she is happy with Jeff. And they're sick of the question, like, you know, everybody's going to be asking them, are you having sex? Jeff does answer and says, no, as they've been there basically and already done it. And it's a little bizarre at the moment for them to start thinking about those things. So they're waiting and taking their time to build upon their emotional connection and any other connections that they can get through before they end up opening to themselves physically, in that sense, because they don't want to feel all this pressure in trying to recreate something that they already know that they're already good at. They've been there, they've done there, they've tried it at the end of the day and got the flipping t-shirt. So I think Jeff holds the same fear as Reed, that if they did go the full hog, what would happen if that ends, if all the bits that they've built up starts to fizzle out because they've done that. But what they're not recognizing is that when they met each other, they were both coming out of long-term relationships. They were both rebounds for each other. So when it comes to rebounding, it's a completely different relationship altogether. You're not looking at the longevity of it at the end of the day. When it's a rebound, it's expected to fizzle out. So then in walks Sierra and Billy. I think when they walk into the room, there is some kind of hesitation from Sierra, and Billy thinks that they are in a better place, but Sierra is not feeling the same, basically. So then in walks Afwina and Adrian. They were close when they were walking in. They went, it was the boom, greet, hello, and then they separated completely. To hear half of them talking about their individual relationships, especially when it comes to Afwina and Adrian talking to the girls and the lads, you would think that they had no worries at all. Like, seriously, that's how they present to each other and present to the group. And this is why I'm saying, for some of these people, it is definitely all about appearances. And I think the only vocal person who will say how they feel and what they mean and when they're not happy is Morena at the end of the day. So Paul said that he heard Morena screaming her mouth off in the hallway, basically. And he then talks about the fact that Tony has been confiding in him as well. And the others start commenting on how miserable Morena looks most of the time. And Jamie believes that tonight is going to be a spicier night when it comes to Tony and Morena. I thought, let's put it this way. If the car ride with them two over to the dinner party was anything to go by, tonight is not going to be pretty. Let's just put it this way. It's not going to end well for Tony at the end of tonight. So Morena is making it as hard as possible for Tony to make it up to her. I mean, in my estimations, yeah, because I didn't know the rest of the situation at this point, but I'll get there. I thought Tony had only left for one night because of the tensions in the flat reaching a boiling point, and I just felt that Moreno was carrying on like he left her high and dry. But as I know now, with the further information, that Tony has actually been dipping in and out of that freaking flat every marted weekend to be by himself, to have Tony time, as he calls it. And I thought, if that's the case, my friend, you are not helping yourself any way, shape or form, and it's no wonder why Morena feels like she's on her freaking own. We see all of them conversing in regards to Jackie and Ryan and their relationship, and the fact that he said what he said in front of all the lads. And I'm just like, well, none of them's actually told Jackie, so all of this is going to become fresh and new in front of Jackie at the table, basically, and it's how she is going to take that now that they've hit the reset button. Do you know what I mean? For Ryan to say the comment that he said about Jackie giving good head means he does not respect Jackie at all. I believe that that's the way how Ryan deals with women when he's with his boys, basically. And I think the boys that he had, if they were the boys at the wedding, they probably feed into all of that guff, all of that rah rah blah 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 bro type of behaviour, to the point where they can be quite insulting to the people that they're with or the people that they slept with. So I think Ryan believed that the lads that he was with was kind of the same when they actually were not. So now he's going to get lambasted by it all, basically. So in walk Jackie and Ryan, and of course they're doing the united walk, the united front walk, let's put it this way. So we shall see how it goes when Jackie is aware of what Ryan has said within the group chat, as I call it. And this is what I mean when I say that Jackie and Ryan are performers, because Jackie and Ryan were performing their asses off, yeah, to say, telling people that, you know, intimacy week was so good for them and it brought them closer. And I was kind of like, mate, really you literally gonna stand up there and lie lying the way that yous are lying, knowing full well that the whole intimacy week had been filmed. We'd seen it and we knew yous two went down the drain like a bag of shit, basically. So Jackie and Ryan are telling the others that they had a reset and rebuild, basically. That's their new mantra, reset and rebuild. And I thought to myself, these two are something else. So Jackie's having a chat with the girls. And Jackie talks to the girls like, you know, how her and Ryan are physical with each other and they're like kissing and they're like cuddling. So they asked her straight out, are you having sex? And again, Jackie confirms, no, me and Ryan are not having sex. And I was kind of like, someone's telling porkies here, or Jackie does not class giving head as part of sex at the end of the day. So they asked Jackie, are you doing stuff though? And Jackie looks so confused and says, not really. And at this point, and it was at this point that I kind of felt sorry for Jackie in that moment, because nobody thought, do you know what, let me pull this girl to the side to let her know what's up in regards to what Ryan has shared with the lads when they went with their session with Alessandra at the end of the day, to give her the heads up that this is going to be brought up at the dinner table. Yeah, no one gave her the heads up, and the way that the women were looking at her, like, you know, giving her the look was, we know something you don't know, ha ha ha, just wait till you get in there, then you're gonna see, was kind of sneaky to me. It came off sneaky to me at the end of the day. So basically what is making everybody confused is how Jackie and Ryan are with each other, because 1 minute they can be okay, 1 minute they it's like the whole world has ended with them both, like seriously they hate each other. But then on the couch it's, oh, we find so much things about each other that we really like, and he's so brilliant, oh she's so brilliant, and he's so lovely, I love his eyes, oh she's so beautiful, I love your eyes too, that kind of thing. And then when they get pressure placed upon them, it just literally falls apart in the split of a freaking eye, I'm telling ya. So Jamie and Karina go and have a chat by themselves, and they're talking about the contradiction of Jackie and Ryan, because Ryan is announcing to people that him and Jackie are doing stuff and Jackie's saying that they're not. So I'm just kind of like, so much for them presenting as a united front at the end of the day. Jackie doesn't know what Ryan did, so it's all going to come to a head because dinner is now served. I just went, oh damn, oh damn. It got so awkward at the table though, of people looking at each other, and I thought, are you like gonna start talking? Are you like gonna start calling it out? Because you're just literally waiting so long to let it out, and the spotlight is on Jackie and Ryan, and we can see that the spotlight is on them. So then you hear Ryan waxing poetic about intimacy week and how well it went for them, and I was like, mate, come on, you were bleating in the men's chat with Alessandra how your wife has crazy eyes, that you couldn't do right for doing wrong. Then you're talking about how she's insulting you, and then you insulted her basically by saying it's all good because she gives good head. So how the fuck you two, you know, got so well done on intimacy week is freaking beyond me, especially when Jackie kept on harping on about the photo ranking challenge and wanting him to just say to her, oh, just say you've made a mistake and that I'm the most beautiful woman that you've met. And he said, I can't do that because it's a lie. But yet their intimacy week went so well. I'm just like, everybody's sitting there listening and knowing that Ryan is lying and Jackie is lying, and Jackie is fully complicit and going along with everything that Ryan is saying. So Ryan is still chatting, and everybody you can see is looking at him suspiciously. So he turned around and said that they had huge issues and they have overcome them now, so there is none there. So Billy, being Billy, I loved it, straight away said, what was one of the issues? Was it when Ryan said you had crazy eyes to Jackie? Jackie automatically stopped and looked around, and I have to say, yeah, there goes the eyes, and if you've watched this program, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, yeah. So I was like, damn, there was no easing at all, Billy. Ross didn't even grease the gun first before you shot it up. So again, Jackie is complicit, yeah, in maintaining this united front. So she turns around to the group and says, but I do have crazy eyes. And she wore them tonight, basically, is what she said. She said I thought Jackie is going to make sure that she kept up these appearances as much as she could, even when it came out to finding this new information about Ryan sharing the crazy eyes comment within the group chat with the men. I thought Jackie is deflecting bad, and the group was so shocked by Jackie's behaviour. Billy said, no. Ryan said it in the workshop with the boys. Jackie literally went into almost full I'm going to kill it till I make it mode. Basically, that's where she went. She interrupted Billy and said, yeah, but I do have crazy eyes. She said, this girl, as she went in, was going hella red. Her face went red, her eyes were popping, her tendons were sticking out on her neck, and she was laughing nervously to cover up all the bullshit that was going on at that point in time. I thought she ain't that good of an actress at all, but she was literally faking it until she made it. Let's just put it that way. So Billy asked Jackie, like, are you okay with Ryan saying that you've got crazy eyes? And she said, it's fine. I thought, okay, it's the minimisation for me. Like, the full-on minimisation. Jackie is fully letting Ryan off the hook at this point to keep up the pretense that they're a happy, united couple, and she's going to have this man's back come hell or high water, because right now she's at a level of they've hit the reset button now, and no matter how toxic it gets, Jackie will keep doing what she's doing. So Jackie really said it's a compliment to have crazy eyes. And Billy asked her, do you find it a compliment that your Ryan said you have crazy eyes? And she says, yes, it's fun. I thought, this woman is fully spiraling. Like, when I was watching it, I thought, this is motherfucking nuts. I thought, Jackie has fully entered the gates of delusional land, because that ain't never right. That ain't never right. So now Ryan is trying to spin it that they took it from Jake and turned it into a joke. I was like, yeah, it's still disrespectful though, because Jake literally used it as a tool to be hurtful to your wife. No amount of taking that back is going to make it right when you use the insult to insult your wife, to tell her she's got freaking crazy eyes. No matter how much Jackie thinks it's funny now. No. So Billy said that he found it disrespectful, as did the rest of the group. I thought, but all I was waiting for was Dave to mention the head comment, yeah, because Jackie spins, the way that Jackie's spinning this, and the whole level of disrespect from her husband, and Jackie's just spinning it and spinning it and spinning it. I'm just like, I can't believe what the fuck I'm watching right now. It was a madness. It was an absolute madness watching Ryan and Jackie play this golden, nothing wrong couple to the hilt. Like, seriously. So Jamie says, well, I'm confused because, you know, Jackie, you say you guys are not intimate, but Ryan is saying you and him are. Ryan had to ask the question, like, in what way? I thought, yes, my love, thank you for piping your rotted ass up, Ryan. Jackie looked hella worried at this point. And then you see Ryan swallowing hard, waiting for the answer, because I thought, if this man sweats anymore, he will be sliding off that chair, because he was sweating hard. Let's just put it this way. So this is when Dave piped in and turned around and said, well, you know, Ryan, you said she gives good bleep. It went, you know, head. But we all know, we all know that was said in front of the boys. And Billy turned around and said, oh yes, she did. I was like, Jesus wept. These people did not come to play. So there was total silence at that point from Jackie and Ryan. And I'm wondering, okay, there's silence from them now. I was just wondering what the fuck are these two gonna cook up next, yeah? Because Jackie likes to portray herself as a lady, and what Ryan did disrespected her fully. So what is she gonna do now? So Ryan tried to play it as it was a positive thing. Like, he tried to say, oh, well, I said it positively. Ryan was taking no accountability for how it looked to the boys, him saying what he said about his wife in that derogatory manner. So Dave said, no, 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 no. That's not what you're not going to do at the end of the day. Dave was mad, like absolutely mad. I never heard Dave get het up in the way that Dave got het up at that table that night. So he said, no, it wasn't a positive thing. You treated it as a joke when you said it, but it wasn't a joke. So Ryan tried to tell Dave he was speaking from ignorance. I thought, come on now, Ryan. You're not that freaking stupid. Come on now. Stop trying to troubleshoot this scenario, because it will never come out better for you at the end of the day. So Ryan thinks that Dave is grandstanding and basically believing that the group want to divide him and Jackie. And I thought, Ryan, okay. Because I just thought, this man can't be that stupid to think that. And if Jackie defended this bullshit, I just didn't know what else to say on that one. So Dave said to Jackie, do you think he should have said what he said to us in that group chat? Now you've heard it, yes or no? Ryan is literally there trying to shout down Dave at the table. And Jackie's literally not saying anything right now because her face is literally gone red. Because I'm like, yeah, now you're realising that your husband's a little bit of a prick at the end of the day. So Dave tells Ryan it was disgusting. No one in this room speaks about their partners like that. And it made Dave feel uncomfortable that Ryan felt comfortable enough to say that shit in front of them. Ryan tried to paint Dave as him having a vendetta against him. But I thought, well, what would Dave have against you, Ryan? You said what you said. You said what you said, and Dave is calling you out on it. So what would the vendetta be? I thought, do you hear yourself, mate, right about now? But actually does not. It's the actual deflection from me. I'm full on gaslighting right now, which is insane. Like, absolutely insane in the membrane. So Dave said you shouldn't have spoke about Jackie like that behind her back. So it's at this point that Jackie does pipe up and agrees with Dave. Yeah, you shouldn't have spoken about me like that behind my back. And Ryan basically said it was a risky thing to say and the humour was his fault. So he started to behave contrite when he saw that Jackie was not having his back at that point in time. And I just thought, yeah, this is not going to end well with these two. Like, not going to end well with these two. And all I can say is well done, Dave, for bringing that up. Jackie turned around and she was saying to Jamie that she feels humiliated and embarrassed. And she was saying to the producers that she doesn't believe her sex life is relevant to the experiment. And I'm kind of like, well, everybody knows coming on this show, it's going to come up consistently in that setting at the end of the day. And it's also relevant when you have two people who are saying two different things when it comes to the state of their freaking marriage and the sexual escapades that they're fucking doing at the end of the day, because nobody was making their sex life relevant. It was Ryan who did what he did within the group chat, yeah, that then gave a spotlight to their sex life for the questions to be asked. So Jackie was not thinking on all cylinders there. So Jamie does talk to Jackie in regards to the comments that she heard Ryan made actually did trigger her. So that's when Jackie jumped on it and said to Jamie that she was triggered when Ryan told her she was not the most beautiful woman in the world. And I thought, Jesus, this woman has deflected all the way back to the freaking photo ranking challenge all over again. And this is what annoys me a little bit more about Jackie, yeah. Because she will go from a serious topic to an absolutely superficial one. So, basically, the situation is the photo ranking challenge where Ryan placed her third did it for her. She can't let that go. Even though they've supposedly hit the reset button and that thing was supposed to stay in the past. So Paul hit the nail on the head that instead of talking about the comments that Ryan made about her, she's still going on about a task that happened weeks ago where Ryan put her third. Because Jackie needs to pressure a man who she is with for them to find her attractive and tell her that every day. telling you, this girl lives in absolute delulu land. So Ryan is asked by Karina, like, does he have like any brothers or sisters? And he says that he has a younger sister and a younger brother, and that his parents are like his best friends, and his parents have basically been together for 40 years. And he says that's the gold standard for me. So I started to see a different kind of Ryan coming out at the moment. So he says he cannot put like everything else above like emotional support, love, this, that, and the other, above what Jackie's asking him for, which is full on blind loyalty at the end of the day, is because he said it's not healthy. So Jackie asked him, do you see your sister as beautiful? And I'm like, it's his sister, of course he's going to say yes, which he does. So Jackie then diabolically, yeah, I might add, asks, so rank your sister against all these women here, where would you put her? I thought, mate, that's weird. That's absolutely weird, and Ryan should definitely not do that. And Ryan had to say to her, that's not the context that it was meant in, and I would not feel comfortable doing that, which you shouldn't do. It's your sister at the end of the day. So I don't know what Jackie was trying to go on with. So now Jackie has taken this rubbish to another realm altogether. And I was just like, at this point, these two need to really call it a day, and Jackie needs to go and find someone to give her some good therapy, because she is toxic as hell, like absolutely toxic. So Jackie begins spiraling from that, saying her to the table, her and Ryan are not compatible, and like she can't change that. And she was talking about Ryan when she said that. That's how she was speaking about him. And she says, I asked for someone intelligent, loyal, and I can't change that. I was like, wow. Just wow. So, yep, don't do it. It's time to go, Ryan. Because that was just nuts. That was nuts. So Jackie decides that she's going to get up and leave the table. And I do believe it was her way of getting out of the hot seat, but I also do believe it's her way of deflecting and having everybody then concentrate on her, because Jackie likes to be the centre of attention. She likes to be this emotional diva that everyone's got to come around and support and make sure that she's okay. She has to have all the focus on her. But Ryan was being honest when he did the photo ranking challenge at the end of the day, but I don't think he's being honest when he says that he finds Jackie attractive. I don't think he does, and I don't think they should be together. So Afwina and Ree go after Jackie, and she asks them, Jackie's screaming at them at this point, did your partner put you first? Afwina said yeah. So Sari, did your partner put you first? Ree said yeah. And Jackie said, yeah, it was done. It's done. No matter how much Jackie screams her accolades, she has not had a man call her beautiful because they mean it. It's always been because Jackie wants this from them consistently. She's literally had to force men to tell her how beautiful she is and make her feel beautiful every single day. And I'm thinking, why can't she get that from herself? Like, why can't she look at herself, even though she says, I know my worth, I know I am beautiful, I know I am gorgeous. I'm thinking, no, you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't need somebody else to continually validate that for you at the end of the day. So Jess said to Jackie when she ended up coming back to the table that they heard that they both decided to restart their relationship. So doesn't that mean that, you know, when it comes to the past, it stays in the past? Jackie says we leave it and let it go and it's done. And I just thought, but mate, you just brought up the past and had a massive freaking hissy fit over the past you both said you won't talk about. So now you come back to the table like nothing has happened. I said, this girl is cuckoo-cuckoo. Like, she's full on cuckoo-cuckoo, like chewing down that fucking railroad. Seriously? Everyone at the table was watching her, like, because they ain't normal. Even Jess said, I don't know. I just don't know. And Dave had to laugh, because with these two, they give you emotional freaking whiplash. The other couples then end up going on to talk about positive things, and I thought, oh, the next one's going to come up now, and it's going to be Marina and Tony. So here it comes. Out of nowhere, after it's all been dealt with between Ryan and Jackie, Marina's angry and she wants at Ryan. She literally had to shout down the table to him to shout his name. And Morena decided to go in on Ryan. Bearing in mind it's been dealt with now. They're all talking about something else completely different. So while Morena's having her tirade, Paul jumps in to redirect the conversation, which was needed, to be honest with you, because the Ryan and Jackie situation be dealt with. No one wants to deal with it no more. So Paul said to Morena, I have questions because you are like, you like to give love advice and relationship advice, but talk to us about your relationship with Tony, is what Paul said. And I thought, well, Morena opened the floor up on that one, to be fair. As they all know, she's miserable right now, and Paul knows more than most because Tony has been confiding in him. So Paul asked her what's going on because he heard and seen her screaming in the hallway. And I'm like, oh my lord, Paul. Oh, you're a better person than most of them at that table, because nobody really comes for Morena because they know how she is. So Morena is one of these people that you just don't play with at all at the end of the day. So she turns to Paul and she goes, I'm sorry. I said, what? What did I do? And I thought, and here it goes. All Tony is doing is sitting back and letting it happen, you know. He ain't defending Morena in any way, shape or form once they all start going. So Paul said, I heard you and I saw you, so don't lie. I thought at this point Tony has his hands in front of his face, and I thought this dude is smiling behind his hands, like absolutely giggling behind his hands. And I just thought, yeah, because it's those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. At the end of the day, Morena threw the stone and it bounced right back in her cloth. Even Jamie knew don't go for Morena. Oh, and I just thought, Paul, it's been good knowing you, mate. Honestly, Morena did do a fatal mistake though of pointing and calling Paul a little boy. So Paul laid it out for her and she came back with, does your girl go home every weekend? And Paul said, well, have you asked the question, asked yourself why Tony is going home every weekend? And I thought that's a damn good question actually, because to be honest, Morena doesn't look at where she is going wrong. It's always Tony is at fault, but not her. So Tony now grows the backbone and tells Morena that she does get loud, and basically that he is scared of talking to her as she talks over him, and he's scared of offending her in that moment. Yeah, it's exactly what happened in Intimacy Week, but Morena doesn't get it. Morena doesn't get it. She wants to say Tony doesn't get in. Tony's like a man-child, but he isn't. He's just too scared to speak to her because she doesn't allow him that space to be able to be forthright with her. So then Morena goes on the defensive. And for her now, it's about how Tony has treated her and that she didn't deserve to be treated in the way that she's been treated by Tony. But Tony doesn't deserve how Morena's treating him either, and I don't think she can see it. So Tony explained to Morena that, you know, I bring you coffee every morning. I bought tickets to fly your children over. And when he goes to say something more, again, she tries to jump in and overtalk him. And Paul has to say to her, let him speak. So then she shuts up and allows for him to speak. And then Tony turns around and talks about how he does all of these things because he wants to show affection towards Morena. He says, I am trying, but every time I try, now you're portraying me as though I'm the shit guy at the end of the day. I says, because that's how Morena is painting him to be. But Tony is also not helping matters when he closes down, when he doesn't articulate himself good enough, and then when he decides to piss off and do Tony time at the end of the day, he's not helping matters there either. Even in the face of that, and he's actually still showing Morena affection at the table, because as he's talking to her, he's stroking her arm. And she is so set in her feelings of anger that she won't listen to Tony, and she's not backing down. She does become literally verbally aggressive and shouts over him throughout this point and to all the others. And he's like, well, what more can I do? And those at the table are now seeing what happens between Morena and Tony, and what happens when Morena gets to this point that Tony is literally shut down completely from the conversation. Morena just wants to find problems with Tony rather than look at the root cause of the problem, of the issues that they're having, which do sometimes begin with her. I'm not saying it's all Morena's fault, because Tony is at fault too, but it sometimes does begin with her. She was literally awful at that table and unfair to Tony at the end of the day, because as I said, yes, Tony did wrong, and he has been trying to make up for it, but she won't let him. So then it moves on to Afuina, because people want to talk on how the relationships are going. So Afuina finally finds her voice and shares her views so Adrian can hear them, especially in front of the group. And she talks about how her and Adrian have good chemistry and that they're physically compatible. But the issue for her is, can they do this on the outside? Because she turns around and she says, like, I'm a mom and I've been in a relationship for 15 years, and she doesn't want to do it again where she's wasting her time with someone knowing full well that it's not fulfilling her and it's not going anywhere. So as Afuina is saying, like, I'm finding it hard to open up my heart due to this, as she's saying she dates as a mom first, and she needs to see if a person can fit into her life and her son's life. Adrian starts to get his back up. So he takes it as Afuina is saying that they're not compatible. And that's not what Afuina is saying at all. So Afuina is saying that she's worried that they will not be compatible on the outside of the experiment. And she's within her rights to have those thoughts and those feelings at the end of the day. And Adrian gets on my nerves because he's deliberately being obtuse in his lack of understanding. So Afuina brought up what he said in regards to the questions on the honeymoon, and the biggest one being, you don't think you could love a child that isn't yours as much as your own. Why did this man start smiling? Why did this man start smiling? And again, this man keeps on showing Afuina who he is and how much of a fucking man-child he really is, and a selfish man to boot. So Paul begins to defend Adrian. I thought, no. I thought to myself, Paul, you need to shut up, because at the end of the day, Adrian is showing himself to be an arse right about now at that table, and none of those men there are pulling him up, including all the other women are not pulling him up on the bullshit that he's doing to Afuina at that table right now. So he turned around and he says, oh, but Adrian says to me, like, if things work out with you and him, he would move to Sydney to live with you and raise your child with you. So Adrian says, no, I didn't say that. Everyone started laughing, and I thought, but that's not funny. It's not funny. It's a serious matter for Afuina at the end of the day, and they're all treating it like it's a joke, which is ridiculous. And then the way that, as I said, the way that Paul was defending Adrian didn't sit well with me. Like, Afuina should be grateful for less than. No. I think Afuina needs to stop going down this road with this man. It's like, with this show, as I keep saying, it cultivates a culture of no matter what, you have to keep trying, plugging away when it's more healthy to walk away. Physical connection be damned with this damn man, yeah. As I keep saying, I think he's there for a little bit of fun, and Afuina is his fun, yeah. Because she won't open up to Adrian fully, but Adrian's not seeing the bigger picture of that. Adrian is there really for the fun. It's easy sex for him, like absolutely easy sex for him. So Afuina is then talking to Adrian further about the issues. Adrian then turns around, shuts her out completely and down, and says, now to Jeff and Ree. He shut that girl off mid-sentence because she was still talking. I just thought, this man's not ready to be anyone's husband, let alone anybody's father at the end of the day. So this man then gets up and goes to the end of the table away from Afuina. So Afuina's talking to Ree and talks about what the issues are. And then you see Sierra and Adrian hanging out with each other and talking to each other at the end of the table. And then it comes out that these two, most days, actually hang out with each other. And I was like, say what now? And they're hanging out with each other without their respective husbands and wife knowing about it. And I find that quite strange, especially in the photo ranking challenge, that Adrian found Sierra fully attractive, like his type completely. I thought, that ain't good. That ain't good. Especially how you're sitting there and watching how Adrian and Sierra are interacting with each other. Something told me that there's something more going on here. There's something more to this story between the both of them, because they're very overtly friendly and a little bit flirty at that table. And you could see Afwina looking over and watching them. And then the camera pans down to under the table, and I thought, well, what are they showing me? You couldn't clearly see it because they decided not, like, you know, not to be so bait, to probably put a light on the fact that this is where they're watching. But you could see how close Adrian and Sierra's feet were to each other. And I thought, hold up a minute, are these two playing footsie? Couldn't really tell, but you could see where Adrian's white trainers were and where Sierra's black shoes were. So then as the camera pans out, so you get the back view, you can still see a clean shot down to the table, and these fuckers were playing footsie under the table and smiling at each other and smiling at everybody else. So then when everybody turns around and says cheers and dinner party number 2, the camera zooms in on Sierra's face, and she literally does like that to Adrian. I was like, oh, is this what's happening? Is this what's happening again in this show? Yeah, anyway, that is where that episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always say, my renegades and those coming in, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know when I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1k. Peace out.